South Carolina, and this, we talked about it, finding joy, and we tried to be positive last week, and you'll still try to be positive, I'm sure. But like I said, my glass can either be half full or half empty, depending on what's going on.
Okay. Last
week, I tried to be half full. I tried to ride with the guys. It's been a tough year, but yeah, let's just look for something positive. And we heard about, our guys practice like it was a Super Bowl this week. Well, my God, that's what you come out in the product that you show on Saturday. You had this great week of practice. And it's 28-28 going into the fourth quarter against a team in their first year as an FBS school.
I think Beamer should trademark, I had a great week of practice.
Yeah, nobody cares about practice anymore.
They love saying it.
Yeah, Allen Iverson would tell them, we talking about practice. You keep talking about this great week of practice, but it doesn't show on the field.
Okay.
It doesn't every single week. And again, it's the defense. The offense wasn't perfect yesterday. It's still an offensive line issue. Rattler and Xavier Legette, they do what they've done all year. Mario Anderson tried to get something going on the ground. Offensive line and we seemed like we were supposed to be healthier again on offensive line. We got 2 guys back.
Yep.
Offensively, it wasn't the best, just because of the opponent you were facing. But God, the defense! I would have fired Clayton White at halftime of that game.
I'm just gonna let you go.
I mean,
you talk, and then I'll talk.
At some point, I think that first of all, the fan base is who got Beamer hired. They drove that, Shane train when we were doing the coaching search. It was former players and the fan base that really got behind him. Obviously, I don't think it's the fan base that helped Tanner and them make the right, or to make the decision, but it played a factor, I'm sure, and he's losing the fan base right now because he won't make the tough decisions and just let him go. Let the problem go. Go ahead.
You done? Okay. All right. No, I'm in agreement with you. I was texting a buddy of mine. I think Clayton White balled himself another week. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat. The defense isn't good, but it's not like we were going up against some podunk team that was averaging 10 points a game coming into yesterday. Say what you want, Jack. We are a far more superior team in every facet of the game. We've got bigger players, but at the end of the day, I mean, their offense was good. They're up tempo just like Tennessee. The pass game wasn't that big of a factor, but it was the rushing attack for Jacksonville State that really killed us. But listen, man, I'm the more glass half full. Give credit. They made stops when they had to.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day,
it was bad.
At the end of the day, we got the win.
Yeah, for sure. I'm
you
happy
don't have
to
to be
win.
happy about it, but we won. Like Shane Beamer said in his post-game press conference, these players practice and do anything football related for 7/8 of the year.
Yeah, I agree.
And they get 12 tries to win.
Yeah.
It's not been pretty. There's no sunshines and rainbows. They celebrated the win, which they should.
Right.
Fans are pissed off about it, which we honestly,
I don't mind the celebrating.
We could have won 52-0 and people would still. I don't want to cuss.
I don't know, 52-0, dude. I think the fans would be like, okay, this gives us hope moving forward. But I'm not hopeful moving forward for this season.
That's okay. That's okay. But at the end of the day, we got the win.
At the end of the day, we got the win. And I don't mind them celebrating. I don't mind Beamer saying, hey, what he said, I agree with everything. Like, it's tough to win. And, where they're at is you're going to celebrate any win that you can get. That's fine. But it was almost like he was kind of pulled a Dabo where he wanted to then attack the fan base because here's the thing, same thing with Dabo is like, you make what you make, whatever. But when you make that much money, and a lot of it is fans putting in their hard-earned money to support the teams, and then this is the product that you get, fans have a right to be upset. They have a right to call you out.
Yeah.
For you to come in and then attack them again, it's just, I think that's what fans are getting. The worst is that these press conferences are the worst is because at halftime he's pissed off about defense. We keep seeing these halftime and then nothing changes. And then you talk about it's on us coaches, nothing changes. And then you attack the fan base and then we hear about great practices. It's the same circle, rinse, repeat, let's go.
But sometimes it's not always on the coaching though. At the end of the day, maybe it's the players.
It could be.
Look at when you take baseball for example.
Yep.
When a MLB team fires their say they stink, can't win, they can't hit, they fire the hitting coach. Okay, maybe it's just the players. Maybe the players just aren't good.
It could be.
And I'm not saying that's the case for us, but sometimes you can spend all week teaching these things, but at the end of the day, when these players get on the field, it's on them to put out and play.
I agree.
And I honestly, dude, I love when coaches clap back at fans because guess what? They may they may spend their money, but guess what? You're not above getting called out.
They're not. But the thing is, they're calling them out because they're getting called out.
But I love a coach sticking up for his team.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Do you want him just to sit there and say, yeah, we suck. These players, they suck.
No, I don't want
these coaches, they suck.
Yes, yes. I want him to say Clayton White sucks, and he's got to fire him. Look, dude. Here's the thing. In the real world,
Debbie Downers.
I'm not, but in the real world, if you had a job and you weren't doing your job, consistently not doing your job, here's the thing. It's not even this year because you got this stat that I didn't even know until the broadcast. And it was masked because of Satterfield being terrible last year that we never got rid of him. Mm-hmm. South Carolina has given up 20 or more points in 16 straight games. That leads the nation in points given up.
And like I said on previous episodes, he's got important decisions to make in the offseason.
Right. But
you can say what you want. He needs to fire him here or there. Some coaches just aren't going to be like that.
He's not. Well, I know that, but the thing is, I can still call him out for it.
You can, but let's just say he did fire Clayton White, and the defense still looked like that. People still wouldn't be happy.
The thing is it's not going to get worse. So let's try and do something to change it up.
Yeah, it's just. I feel like it's a lost cause. You know what you're getting with the defense.
Here's what made it worse for me. Truly, like everything. I agree with everything you're saying, except for the fact that it was. And Jacksonville State, they're a good team for where they are. But like you said, in every single position, we should have been bigger, faster, stronger, and better than them. We should have been, and probably on paper we are. So to go out there and put out that product.
I mean, they still only gave up. I know this sucks. Like, this is bad to say, but they only gave up 28 points.
That's a lot. Consistently giving up 20. Here's the thing, too, is like in those 16 games, you're talking about the Jacksonville States. No slack against Furman. They're a good football team as well. But you have those teams that you're giving these points up to. And luckily for Clayton White is he's been masked by the poor offense last year. Well, now you got an offense that's doing something, and you consistently. The problem is it's consistent. It's just the same and nothing. Change out if you think it's the players, play the freshmen at this point. Like if you're just scraping for a bowl and there's like a slim chance now that you make that bowl game. Go ahead and start getting these younger guys some experience then. If these players that you're running out there aren't working and it's the same product, let's try something different. Try something different. Switch up the scheme. If you run a 4-3, let's run a 3-4. Let's do something different. Let's just try something instead of saying this is what we're going to do and then we're going to be mad about it at halftime and then we're going to say, well, we got to be better as coaches. It's just everything is the same this year. It's the same press conferences. It's the same thing on the field. It's just the same. That's what's really pissing people off.
I think another thing is we just don't have much depth to work with.
No, we definitely don't have the depth.
Maybe they can switch up schemes, but what if they don't have the players to run the schemes? Now, I'm not saying in terms of play abilities.
Right.
Maybe you don't have the numbers to do it.
Yeah, we definitely don't have the depth.
We're very...
And we're injured.
I don't think we're as injured on the defensive side of the ball, like
definitely
on the
not.
offensive side of the ball. But again, at the same time, you need to have the players in order to change up something. And again, maybe it's just not. They're not able to do it. Like people were saying, on the offensive side of the ball, we need to get Nick Harbor more involved. Yeah. And there's a pass like Rattler did have some underthrown balls yesterday. But the first play of the second half when he threw that ball, it was underthrown to Nick. But again, that's a freshman.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't mad about that one. I wasn't mad about the play call.
Those types of things are going to happen, and they're not just going to come out and be these world makers. Like they're still trying at the end of the day to win. And I trust Shane to make the right decisions. Now you cannot agree with his defensive coordinator, and I think he will address it at the end of the year.
But the thing is, he has to.
If he doesn't, then he's like we said under Muschamp.
He will lose everybody.
I don't think he'll lose everybody, but I'm
not talking about recruits. I'm talking about fan base.
I'm talking about everything. But if you're going to stick with Clayton White, you're putting your career on him.
It's kind of the same thing with when Mike McCarthy with the Cowboys said, you know what? I'm going to take the play calling this year, and if it comes down to our offense stinking, and it comes down to play calling, it's going to be on me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to lose my job because somebody else couldn't perform and do their job. So, again, if he does want to hang his hat on Clayton White, you better make damn sure that y'all come out and play solid defense next year, because if you don't,
honestly,
he's gonna let him go.
He needs to move on. I'm not
sure if Clayton White is his contract up. Is it kind of one of those deals where he can do like he did with Satterfield, where it was kind of a mutual parting, and they just didn't renew him?
Clayton.
The bad thing is we keep hearing that it's his friends. That's the bad thing. Is like you hired your friends, and you kind of set yourself up to be in this situation where you hired your friend, and if they aren't doing well, then you got to go through that awkward firing of your friend.
He received a 1-year contract extension in February of 2022. So he's under contract until December 31 of 2024.
So he's got to fire him.
Yeah.
Yep.
He would have to fire him.
He's got to fire him.
Yep.
He has to.
But here's the thing, man. Like,
the only way that I would say, maybe give him another year.
I don't
is
know.
If they go out and play solid in the next 3 games. If they give up 10 points or less in the next 3 games, then maybe
they might.
Like 5% chance I'll be okay with it.
My thing
but really,
is,
there's nothing he can do.
You've got enough sample size to know
he can't do it.
What type of court, just like with Satterfield.
Yeah, can't do it.
We didn't need 2 full seasons to understand how the offense was going to look under him. You know what our defense is going to be. Now, we have more weapons coming.
For sure.
But
he can't do anything with the weapons we got, though.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, and we've said this before, it starts with both lines on each side of the ball.
Yeah.
If you can't generate pressure, that hurts your secondary. We've had we had 4 turnovers or forced 4 turnovers yesterday. That was our first turnover since the Tennessee game. Didn't have any of the month of October.
Yeah, that's been one thing that kind of helped Clayton White last year was we had a ton of turnovers last year.
But you need that.
Not a lot this year.
But you need that when teams are not world beaters.
Right.
It's turnovers help because it puts you our offense in better field position.
Yep.
Thank God for Stone Blanton because that.
Here's the thing, dude.
I truly thought that was going to be a touchdown.
Watching that play,
I didn't even see him.
He kind of just fell into that interception. To be honest, it wasn't like he made the perfect read. I mean, I think he read it well, but it wasn't like he made the perfect read and just snagged the ball. It was almost like he stumbled into it and caught it. But that should have been a touchdown.
Well,
if the quarterback makes the right read there.
Well, it started with our pass rush because Debo got to him.
He did.
And if he just, instead of like a line drive, he just
lofted it over. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, because Stone read it and he cut it off. But dude, like I said, you got to give credit. You need to give credit where you can. They found a way to win. It was not pretty. I mean, just think Beamer's
They're 1-0 in November.
Just think of Beamer's first year when we had to have a game-winning drive against Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
It was around this time 2 years ago.
Probably the same thing that's coming up with.
And Xavier Legette had the game-winning touchdown. And it just we know what type of football team.
I don't put it past them to – I know that we can play offense.
Yep.
I know that we got the offense. I don't think that Juice Wells is coming back this year. But if somehow he does say, hey, I'm coming back for the last 3 games, last 2 games, whatever, that only helps the offense. We also didn't have Trey Knox yesterday.
Which I think was a good – I'd never want somebody to not play because of injuries.
But it forces them to use some other people.
But I really love Joshua Simon.
Yeah, I think
he's a very athletic tight end.
Yeah, I agree. You also still have Harbor. He played a ton of snaps yesterday, just didn't get targeted a lot. He had, like I said, that 1 target. But
they kept leaving Xavier Legette open.
Right. That's the thing. When we talked about it at the beginning of the year about getting Harbor more reps, it was, okay, they're just singling in on XL. So just if you can just get that speed out there to make them have to respect it, it's going to open him up. And it has. The past few games, it's opened him up to where they have to respect that. And if you just give him a few targets a game, even if it's...
He had 9 catches for 217 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
yesterday.
and a lot of that is because they're focusing. They had to put some sort of focus on Harbor, and also Omega Blake. I mean, he's not a slouch either. He's a good receiver. Amarian Brown was more heavily involved yesterday. I think they did really well scheming up plays for him to get him quick touches because he's a fast.
And Jacksonville State
quick
was
twitch
without
guy.
their top DB yesterday.
Yeah,
too.
But all in all, like you said, it's a win.
Find some joy,
I'm happy about the win. But they do have some stuff that they can potentially build on. Like you said, defense did cause turnovers. Yeah. Something they haven't done this past year.
I would be more critical if I knew we were a better football team. But when we are what we are,
right,
and we have any type of positive momentum going. Listen, and Beamer even said after his press conference, he's like, listen, we know we have a lot to work on. He's like, we as coaches know we have to be better. The players know they have to be better, but that's for tomorrow.
Yeah.
We got practice today.
When did he say that?
On Sunday. It's in his press conference last night.
Or the previous week, or the week before that.